Okay, so as we open up the Haloview box right here, we're gonna slide off that outer cover, get this guy opened up. Okay, so once we start opening the box here, inside you're gonna have your instruction manuals. You have the display itself located here without the antennas attached. You have the 3 antennas, 2 for the device and the other one for the back, all your cables, your mounting hardware. There's a license plate mount right there. You have your camera itself, and you're also going to have the little sticky base stand for the head unit, gasket and mounting hardware for the camera itself. And that's about it. Let me switch to a top view so you can kind of see what all that is. And we'll kind of look at that a little bit from the upper angle. And if you look at this diagram here, you kind of get a good idea of what all is included in the kit here. That doesn't even show the mounting hardware, the screws, etc. But that's a good indication of what's in the box. Let's talk about it. And of course, you can put this in pretty much any vehicle you can really imagine. So just use your imagination there. It is full color night vision, seamless 1080p audio, up to 1,000 feet distance, rear backup lines. It is IP65 water resistant, and it can be mounted pretty much anywhere you want. It does have a little light that you can turn on and off with the front display in case it's really, really dark. It does have a high brightness display. It is backlight adjustable, friendly user accessories. It does have audio, rear marker lines, and the water resistance, like we talked about, I believe is IP65 rated. Really high resolution camera there. It really does have some really nice pictures. So when it comes to installing this guy, I had a real cheap backup camera mounted up here that was wireless, but man, it just cut out all the time. It just could not make it through the walls of the RV to the front. And it was kind of just a nightmare because it'd always fail on you when you really needed it the most. Your screen would just go blank. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this guy and install this new camera. And so that means I already have a hole drilled. Of course, if you want to run your camera into one of those marker lights up top, that's probably what I recommend you doing so you can avoid poking holes in your RV. But since I already have one, I'm going to wrestle this old wire out of here, and then we're going to have to clean everything up. I recommend using some isopropyl alcohol because it evaporates well and gets off all that residue and goo. And once you have that all cleaned up, we're going to feed our wire through. Make sure that you have your rubber grommet on. That's going to make it more weatherproof. I'm also going to be adding some silicone to this a little later, so keep that in mind. You do want to make sure this is sealed, but we're going to go ahead and screw this on. If your surface is flat, the rubber grommet might be enough, but mine's got that little bump there, so I'm going to go ahead and silicone this up if I decide to permanently mount this camera later. Screw on your antenna, make sure everything's nice and tight. And so once you've adjusted your camera, everything's in place, let's go over the wiring. So the easiest way is going to be to go into your marker lights, and basically you leave the green remote trigger wire completely disconnected, and you're just going to run the positive power source to your positive on the light and the negative to the negative on your light. And whenever your lights are on, that's going to be turned on. The camera will activate, and you leave the green wires completely disconnected. Now, if you're going to do it a different way, what you're going to need to do is you're still going to need your positive and negative power source, but you're going to connect your green trigger wire. And then inside of the RV, that trigger wire is going to have to go to a toggle switch or a switch of some kind to activate the power for the camera. The head unit is real simple. You just plug it into the lighter socket and you're done. Then you can adjust your antennas inside. Make sure those are in the right spot, in the right orientation.